Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is my Gears of War 4 Inconceivable difficulty video walkthrough. This is Act 3-5, it's called Elevator to Hell. So, this is going to be another one of the hard moments, and this is probably the easiest of the hard moments in my opinion, because the strategy that I'm going to show you is the same one that I used for Insane, and it will guarantee that nothing will get to you and you will never be in danger. It involves a lot of wire and a lot of turrets, but used in conjunction and correctly you'll do incredible damage. So I planted the grenade here for this inevitable gay spawn that's coming up. On casual, there is one juvie. On Insane, I think there's 4, or even 5. Oh, sorry, on Inconceivable. If you plant the grenade, you will only have 1 to contend with and the rest will get immediately jibbed. I don't really get that. Maybe it's the whole Act 3 spooky nonsense coming back to bite us, but this level looks like one of the multiplayer levels in concept, but it's vastly different in layout. And I'm going to be trimming out a lot of the downtime, guys, so it's going to be just a sequence of fights again. I hope you like the format of these videos. That way you can get immediately to the encounters that you need rather than all the intermediary stuff. I know it might be confusing for some people when it jumps around and it's quite quick, but I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I've already commentated this entire game without any massive omissions outside of gameplay, so if you want something like that, feel free to check out my other walkthrough. But the logic of the wire here is I'm going to put wire in front of the opening so that it slows them on the way to it, and it can also slow them on the way to the windows. And then I'm going to put wire on the inside, but not quite as close as you would normally want to do it, because the juvies can do wonderful leaps through the windows where they land in front of the wire if you put it too close to the window. And what this is going to do is it's going to catch the juvies so that they can't be a problem. And then on the subsequent waves, we're going to fill in the gaps with more wire so that anything like a drone tries jumping through, he's going to be stuck the entire time. And the cool thing about these fortifications, when you put wire and all kinds of barbed tracks across doorways and things, when the enemies are in them, they cannot shoot. So that's the big advantage. To get through them, not only does it slow their mobility and it does damage, but it stops them from being able to attack you. And if you can get them all in a state of trying to trudge through the wire, you can kill them effortlessly. They're free headshots. And when you have turrets behind you, you have a firing squad should anything be foolish enough to get behind you. And that's why it works. But you'll notice I don't have my Retro Lancer at the moment because I picked up the drop shot on a previous video, so I've swapped it out for the Hammer Burst. The Hammer Burst in this game is not bad, but it is not the Hammer Burst from the old games. In Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3, the Hammer Burst was very good. In this game, it's... I want to call it one of the worst weapons in the game, even though when a full team of people use it together, it's insane. But at the same time, I don't feel this weapon at all in this game. I've used it in multiplayer, I've used it in Horde. In Horde on a soldier with 100% extra rifle damage, it's beautiful. With the 120% active reload bonus, it's beautiful. But just the standard thing, not a fan. However, you know, coming up against a couple of juvies, it's quite fun to shoot them with. But the juvies go down really quickly anyway. But in my opinion, the juvies should take 1 bullet. Like, I'd probably change it so that the juvies kill you instantly, but I'd make it so that there's slightly less of them, and that they're perhaps not quite as fast, so a little bit slower than they are, but they die in 1 round. Any melee attack puts them down. Like, I wouldn't fuck about with this enemy. But did you see his jump just then? Did you see how he landed perfectly inside the wire? If the wire was up against the frame, he'd have jumped past it and he'd have been a problem. So, there's logic behind the wire, guys. You're going to see my wonderful inverted pyramid of death, so look forward to that. But the team does a great job here, and I've given them power weapons. Not perhaps the best idea, because they waste the torque bows like lunatics on bloody juvies instead of punching them. But you never know. It could be pretty sweet. Like, I'd love to moderate this difficulty. I really would. It'd be cool if on PC you could go into the the game's files and adjust it. I'd adjust so much. I really would. I'd make it so that the Nasher does maximum damage at all distances. Nah, I wouldn't do that, but it'd be cool if I could, right? That'd be fucking sweet. But here's me putting the one close now to catch anybody who does get through the first wire. and then I'm going to put another turret behind me. And of course, the cover is going to be the fabricator. But I'm looking at the disco turret, as Aiden calls it, the shock turret. The best thing about the shock turret, if you've never used it, is it's really good at stunning scions. And the cool thing about that is, you know when a scion says a word and he's going to attack? If he gets hit by the disco turret, he has to say the word again, which is really funny, because it doesn't stack his ability. So, he is an enemy that is 100% dictated by the shout. If he doesn't shout, he can't shoot. It's really strange. So you can just get the disco turret just hitting him and interrupting what he's doing, which is really funny. And I noticed that on Killing Time, which is another moment sequence like this, and I have another really good setup for that guy, so don't worry about that mission. Well, and it has to be said, that section on Act 5-2 I think it is way harder on Insane. On Inconceivable, it's considerably less stressful. But here come the drones, and the drones are definitely a bigger threat than the juvies, even though the juvies can be dickheads. And the problem with this is just there are hunters with torque bows. They're very versatile with bolt-ox and jumping around and moving around and everything. But there's no real risk, and I watched Bick do this part, which I thought was fucking amazing. If you've not seen Bick Benedict's this level and this section, you need to see it. I was in tears. It was amazing. So I was editing this walkthrough the other day while watching his run. And in this room there's a part where I think there's like 4 drones in his face and 2 of his team are dead. And he somehow comes out unscathed. I have no idea how he did it, but I really enjoyed that video. So if you've not seen it, guys, check it out. I was in tears. It was just so perfect, because I don't even think he knows how he did it, he just kind of did. And it's one of those wonderful videos, like, what the fuck was going on that day? There was an angel on his shoulder, that entire sequence, it was wonderful. But yeah, definitely recommend that for some viewing, my goodness. But look at the turrets, dude. I hope you don't have epilepsy, by the way, guys. Epilepsy warning coming up when both turrets start firing. I felt myself twitching a bit. It was crazy. But the team are just going to get railed by these. Look at that, double down. And at this moment, when both your team are down, the enemies are going to come to you. But the problem here is they've got nowhere to go. The wire slows them down, and the turrets kill them. And all you have to do is wait for them to come to you and press X. You don't even have to move. There's no way these enemies can get in this room, and if they do, they're immediately getting murked by immense firepower. You are never in any danger of being injured, really. And for everything else, you can blind fire. If you've got grenades, you're laughing, you know? And it looks intense, but it really isn't, because they cannot get you. You are too defended. And the turrets don't run out of ammunition like they do in Horde. All you have to worry about is their HP, and because your team's in front of you and because I'm in front, they will not aim at the turrets. The only threat you're at here is from grenades. And if they can throw a grenade in here, they deserve to kill you, but they generally don't. He was trying just then, but look at that! The turrets have ridiculous range. It's crazy. But just sit behind this fabricator and let your ingenuity do its job. So there's a little bit of a lull here in combat. The team have finally pushed into the room, which is the sensible thing. But I don't know. God, I hate Kate so much. She's so annoying. I've never had problems with the AI in a game like I have in this game. I have never shot my teammates as much as I have in this game. I have never been cock-blocked in cover as much as I have in this game. Like, look at this dickhead. Taking the most fiddly piece of cover in this entire room for no reason at all than just to be a dick. Like, during the Swarmak fight, there's moments where you get rushed by drones and Marcus will fucking sit on the only piece of cover that blocks you from their damage. It is ingenious in how much it's annoying. Like, I can't even begin to tell you. I would prefer to be on my own on this section, simply because then the AI would come to me instead of constantly going for them and just doing weird things. Like, what is she doing out there with a hammerburst hip firing? I couldn't tell you, you know? It's just crazy. If they would come here, they would die, but they won't because the AI is too busy trying to bloody MacGruber everything. So we just wait. You play the patience game. You're going to get a checkpoint, so there's no point in risking it now. And there it is. Second wave done. So now, the biggest wave is to come, but we also have more money, and nothing's been broken yet. So I'm going to give her a torque bow. You'll notice she swapped the torque bow out, and she swapped it out because it ran out of ammo. In a perfect world, it wouldn't run out of ammo and they could shoot it indefinitely, but that's not the world we're in. And there's a lot of the hunter's weapons here. So what I'm going to do with the wire now, guys, is I'm going to probably replace the front piece, double up on that because it's weak, and then I'm going to do a V shape from the left window to the center, and then from the right window to the center, meeting the other one. And what this is going to do, I think I'm going to do that anyway. Yeah, there we go. It's going to make sure that if anybody jumps in awkwardly, they're going to land on the framework of that. And then I'm going to put a final turret behind me. And now we are completely impenetrable. Nothing can get through here. One thing I'm not certain on, which I don't really know, can the turrets hurt you? Because there's times when I take big damage, and the only thing I can think of is that I'm getting shot by my own turret in the crossfire. I don't know if they can. If they can, don't mess around with it. Just let the turrets do the job. But I like to shoot stuff, so... And you can never tell on a difficulty such as this because you get shot from impossible angles. Everybody's fucking holy hand grenading you, and you just can't tell where it's coming from. It's all magic bullet nonsense. But here come the juvies anyhow. And once again, guys, you're completely safe. You will never see anyone in this room that isn't in pieces within seconds. And... hopefully that's some security, because this room can get really crowded. But it's a long chapter as well, because there's no way to skip any of this. And then after this, there's that silly section where you have to get to the engine room where everything works weird. Where when you're touching a button, you can't seem to be killed, even though I've been killed. So I don't really know how that works. Another thing you want to assuage quite quickly is the impulse to go out and start shooting shit, because it takes them a while to get to you. But from this fabricator position, if you look on the right, you can see them spawning. You can see them teleport into the game and then jump off that corner just there. So if you want to get a couple of pre-shots on them, you can totally do that. But it's too far away unless you've got a long shot or a torque bow to do much. I mean, if you've got a torque bow and you're good with it, you can take heads, kill them all, but you're not going to see that. So here we go. Both teammates are dead, and all of the drones are going to look at me. So... there's the juvie just there trying to get through the wire. There's a teammate crawling in. There's a turret trying to get a target but having a bad job. And here's where Captain Epilepsy turns up, so word of warning, guys, it's going to get real bright in this room. And then she's trying to get in cover, but I'm in cover, and now she's just being annoying. So I'm just going to ignore her, and hopefully she's going to die. Here we go. So she goes for Del to revive him. A couple of guys behind that desk in front. Del goes immediately down. There's a lot of guys out there. They're just walking around ball-talking from the hip like beasts. And now they're going to try and come in, and the turrets say no. But you'll notice the middle turret didn't want to fire just then, and I don't know if it's because fucking Kate is sucking its barrel, whatever she was doing. There we go, middle turret's doing something now. Because it might not... oh, no, that's the right turret, isn't it? I think the middle turret should have been a little bit further forward to get it in on the action. Oh no, it's shooting now. But look at this! Look at that! You don't even have to duo. It's ridiculous. But you can see... do you see the resolution dipping when all the particles are on the screen? You can see the aliasing on the fire. Because I think this is probably affecting the dynamic resolution because there's so much lighting happening right now, and it makes the visuals look soft. Have you noticed that? Probably doesn't do that on the better Xboxes, but it does on mine. And in the game's defense, right, there are certain parts of this game that load really slow, but there are other parts that load really fast, and I'm really happy about that, because load times are one of those things that can really hinder any kind of difficult walkthrough. Like, waiting 40 seconds to reload a tough section is one of the worst things in the world. It really is. It's so demotivating, which is one of the reasons why if you play games on PC with an SSD, all you're going to do is ruin yourself for consoles. So coming back to consoles is going to be brutal. Like, can you imagine coming back to like Witcher 3 or Fallout 4 on consoles and waiting a fucking minute for the game to load? That was a big scream just then. And look at the turrets. The turrets are surprisingly knackered, right? I don't know why. I haven't seen anything attack them. I'm assuming some spray from the shotgun blasts and things have been hitting them. But now there's just a lot of juvies. Go on, do something, lady. And yeah, just keep on top of it. Keep on top of them, shooting them. It's not really much to say, is there? It's kind of long. It's kind of intimidating, but I just feel like a strategy such as this is so foolproof, you don't really have to worry. The only real threat here is if somebody throws a lucky grenade or if you get talked, because the talk is good night. Oh wow, shotgunner on the left. Puts her down immediately, and I don't know what I've tagged there. I've tagged something. I think I've tagged the wire, which is weird. Two guys on the right here. Dell's going out, he's been a hero. He's got a shotgun though, and he gets downed. There goes that dude. See you later. Oh, she took a grenade? That could have been a great grenade then, because they all came to revive him. And then the guns are going nuts, and then the visuals are dipping again. And that's it. Fabricator closes, end of the defensive part. So it's going to transition now to us turning some levers. And when you turn the levers, 2 pouncers and a bunch of enemies are going to turn up. And all you're going to have to do here, guys, is run back to your defences that you've made just then and let the turrets do the work. But that is such a foolproof strategy. It's kind of crazy how effective that is. I'd be interested to see if anyone defends somewhere different than that room. One would think not, because you can't move the fabricator. I think the problem with these sections is that they should have given you the flexibility to move the fabricator where you wanted to put it, but admittedly, they put it in some of the best locations you can put it. The only one where I think it's a bad place to put it is the final one in Killing Time. Because that area is so open, it's kind of obnoxious. But one thing I noticed is that I don't think the Snatcher can get into those left and right channels at the back of the room, because I don't think it can get through the door. It's an enemy that is limited by its mobility. The Carrier can climb over obstacles, the Snatcher can't. That's the reason why on Blood Drive, when you put the Fabricator in the doorway, the boss can't get in the room, so he's in easy pickings, because he can't do ult. But you can't really replicate that in the campaign from what I've seen. And I've tried to be cheesy. Look at my Insane guide when I was using the spawn rooms to stop them because they don't enter the spawn rooms. Like, I've thought of some really cheesy strategies. But I didn't need them on this run because it went so well, so that should hopefully instill you with confidence. Because I looked at the percentage of people that have done this achievement, it's something like 0.01% of people have beaten Conceivable on solo. It's really low. And I don't get it. I understand that, you know, not everybody has time to play the campaign, not everybody has time to play the campaign on a really hard difficulty, but this is not that hard, you know. It's not easy, but I struggled way more with Insane, and I don't know, for whatever the reason is, it just is the way it is, you know. It'd be really interesting if somebody could data mine the PC version and tell us all the hard information. Because I'd love to know the HP decreases, I'd love to know the damage increases, what they all were statistically. And I wish I knew how to do that stuff, but I don't. Because the thing I love the most about the cheat engine on PC is when you say the word cheat engine, people think, oh, you're just cheating, you're just going to be invincible and stuff and you're a dickhead, right? Well, that's true, there's a lot of people that do that. But then there's weird people like me that get to look into the statistics and see exactly what all the numbers mean. And see exactly what damage you do, exactly what your reload is and the timings of it and things like that. That information can be wonderful. Like on Dark Souls, you can see all the damage variables and all the multipliers on the damage. It's really cool. But if you go to the right here, you can get into this room flanking them, and a lot of the times you can kill them both, but I got a really bad pattern here where they both left. So now I'm just going to run because this is a really stupid section and you don't have a lot of time. But if you can get to the switch and touch it, all you want to do is mash X on the switch, and for some reason they can't kill you. So this guy's going to punch me, which is a one-hit kill on this difficulty. Yeah, he punches me twice. Like, I can't answer that, you know? It's just a shit section. Good luck, it's dumb, you'll do it. Thank you for watching, you take care now.